Hello there, Eddie Mercado here with BloodyElbow.com, and today I will be speaking with UFC lightweight Tony Martin as he is headed to UFC Fight Night 116 in Pittsburgh to take on Olivier Aubin-Mercier. So let's give Tony a call and find out what he's been up to since his last fight, find out what he has in store for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and maybe his future aspirations for the UFC lightweight division. Mr. Tony Martin, how are you doing, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking out the time. I know you're a very busy man. Huge fight on your hands. You're headed to UFC Fight Night 116 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, taking on Olivier Aubin-Mercier. How are things?
Everything's good, man. I'm excited. I love the fight. It's a big fight. I took it on 5 weeks' notice, but I feel physically ready, and I think it's a great matchup for me.
Yeah, so you're 12-3 overall, and you're searching for your fourth consecutive win. That's kind of a big deal. Especially in the lightweight division, which is a lot of people consider the Shark Tank. What do you think it is that's been most responsible for your recent success?
Honestly, it was mostly just time in the sport. As I was very young in the sport itself when I came in to the UFC with only 3 years of training. So I was very new. So now my skill set's coming along. I've always had the athletic ability, and obviously, I've worked a lot of my striking game now since I've been in Boston. And mostly it's just been a process of just becoming a more well-rounded fighter.
Yeah, and I think we saw that in your Olivier fight. You really started to let your strikes go, even though ultimately you caught him with a technical submission. And I have to ask, is a technical submission a little more sweet than, I know a win's a win, but when you put someone to sleep, that's kind of cool, right?
No, it was cool because it was weird how I didn't know he was even going to sleep because the ref jumped in so fast. So it was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so after that, you had some injury troubles, right? You were scheduled to face Michel Prazeres, and that fell through. What exactly went on with that?
Yeah, I had neck surgery. I ended up rupturing a disc in my neck, my C6, C7. So it was tough. About 2 weeks out of the fight, and I still wanted to fight. It was one of those tough ones where the doctors are like, you're really risking getting paralyzed. So that was the final straw of me pulling out. So I was kind of like, we'll live to die again. And then, we got on, and then right away I had the surgery about a week later, got that all cleared up. And it's been a blessing. I haven't had any neck trouble since then. And I used to always deal with neck pain throughout every single camp. So it was kind of a lingering thing that just wouldn't go away. And finally it had enough and went fully. So I'm just glad that we got it behind me. And now that, just adding new skill sets and trying to just get bigger fights.
Okay, and after that, you went ahead and took on Alex White and was pretty much dominant in all of the grappling exchanges. And there was a little awkward moment, something I'd never seen before in the beginning of the match. You were clinched up with him against the cage, and he kneed you low, and it actually fractured your cup. How did that even happen?
So what happened, actually, is that I was wearing a Muay Thai cup. So the string broke. So what happened was the string broke, and I wasn't...
Those are the steel cups, right? The steel cups?
Yeah, the steel cup, yeah. So the cup didn't break. It was the string broke, so the cup dropped about 3 inches. And I was like, it was just weird. I didn't know what to do because it was just hanging there. So I was like, so obviously we stopped. My corners, all they did is we cut the string off, and we just put it right back into my boxer. So it's still... It kind of threw me off in the fight a little bit, where it was moving around the whole entire fight because it had no stability, and because the strings are what keep stabilizing. So I learned my lesson, though, so I always buy new strings now before the fights.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. What have you done to make sure something like that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I just buy new strings because what happened is there was a little cut in there before, but I was practicing and everything was fine. So I was like, oh, no worries. And obviously... It went in the fight, probably worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's like the one thing you don't want going wrong for you in the fight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, after that, you got right back in there and you took on Johnny Case, someone super talented, had a lot of tools to bring to the table. and you opted to keep it standing and basically just work your striking. And it was somewhat competitive at first, but rounds 2 and 3, you really started to take off. What was your thoughts on your overall performance in there, and kind of where your striking is right now compared to your grappling?
It was definitely a fight where I felt he didn't have the power to put me away, so I really wanted to emphasize staying on my feet, getting comfortable striking inside the octagon. And it was just one of those perfect fights where I thought that I could catch him on the feet. Obviously I wanted to finish, and I hurt him multiple times. I felt like in the second and third round. And, but he was a tough guy to put away because he moved so much. His movement was on par, and he was moving a lot, so it's hard to catch him clean. But I felt like I hit him with some shots that would put a lot of fighters away. And, overall, obviously I always want to finish, but it was one of those fights where we had a little background leading into the fight, coming from the same circuits kind of in the Midwest. So it was a big fight for me, and he was kind of disrespecting my striking leading into the fight. So it was a big emphasis on the camp of striking, because I felt at any time I could just resort back to my grappling. I have full belief in my grappling ability, and anytime that's something that I could always lean on when it gets down to crunch time. So it's one of those things where I just want to get more comfortable on my feet.
Yeah, I mean, would you say that was Tony Martin's coming out party for his striking? I mean, there were moments where you literally stood in the center and was like, I'm right here. I'm right here. Like, what are you doing? And it seemed to discourage him a little bit.
It's kind of more of how I train in the gym. So it was really nice to just finally get in there, feel confident and comfortable enough to truly just be myself in there. So it's more of the aspect of before I was kind of a little worried on my feet or, thinking too much. So it's kind of nice to, just go out there and like you said, just have a true coming out party for myself. And just, like I said, every fight, I just feel like I'm getting more momentum built behind me. And this could be another one of those fights where, I plan to do a lot of striking in this fight as well. And just another fight just to keep building on the momentum I've built.
Okay, now you're heading into Pittsburgh, UFC Fight Night 116. Do you like fighting on the East Coast better, or does it not really make a difference to you where you're getting it in at?
Well, I'm going to like the short, flight, the hour and a half flight to Pittsburgh. So that's going to be really convenient and really nice. So that part will be nice. But no, honestly, I'll just fight wherever. I tell them all the time, you want me to go to Japan? You want me to go anywhere? I'm willing to go. And I do like traveling sometimes too. It's a little bit more, closer we are, more cost friendly it is for me. But other than that, I'm just going to prepare as hard as I can and mentally and physically and get ready to have a great fight on Fight Night.
Okay, now your opponent, Olivier Aubin-Mercier, OAM, TriStar product. He brings with him a judo background. Really likes to grapple. Really goes for submissions. What do you think of the stylistic matchup there, where you both are kind of grapplers, but both kind of looking to show what you have on the feet?
Honestly, I think I only took the fight for one reason. 5 weeks out, normally I don't want to take fights that on a 5-week notice because I'm a pretty big guy, so to get down to weight isn't the easiest. But the matchup I felt like was heavily in my favor. I think it's a great matchup where on the feet, I can let go everything. I can throw heavy shots. I can kind of just do myself on the feet. And then in the grappling department, I'm fully confident in my grappling. And I've been, ever since I started, that's all I've done is grappled. So it's kind of one of those things where it's going to be nice to face a guy where he's trying to take me down. And I think that he's had a lot of advantages in the grappling department in fights because everyone's trying to counter grapple or, avoid his grappling. And I'm more of the guy where I'll embrace the grapple. Like, you want to grapple, let's grapple. And then so I'm going to be shooting submissions right away. He's going to shoot in, and my best submissions off people shooting in on me. So I fully expect to win in the striking department. And I also believe in my grappling enough where I think I can grapple with anyone. And I think that stylistically, it's a perfect fight for me. Mostly at this time too. He's got a good name. I think he's 5-1 at lightweight, so it's a big fight. And they're going to come in with a good game plan, so it's going to be my job to go out there and shut it down right away.
Yeah, he has 7 of his 8 submission wins have been a rear naked choke. Have you done anything in particular to maybe get ready and prepare in case he does get you in that kind of situation?
Yeah, obviously we've done a lot of back defense, and but me and the team got together. Brock Larson just came in this week, so he's a southpaw grappler. obviously has been my grappling coach from the beginning. So it's going to be, we're doing a lot of back defenses, but mostly if he's on my back, I've already missed a few steps. I've already let him take me down, then I let him pass my guard, then I let him, so I've already missed too many steps. So we're already just concentrating on, focusing on what I do well, stippling his game right there from the start, so to stop someone from getting the bag, the same thing. Oh, what's the easiest way not to get triangle? Don't get in the triangle, so it's always that aspect of, we're just focused on the steps before that and making sure that my game there is extremely solid. And obviously, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so I'm fully confident when it hits the mats and to avoid those situations and capitalize on the situations of the grappling department.
Awesome. And how's training camp going for this? Of course, you're in Boston. Are you at Sitcho Tong for this?
Yeah, I'm at Sitcho Tong. I'm there about 3 days a week, and then I do a lot of my grappling at PMA in New Hampshire under Professor Tim Barshard, the Start BJJ banner. So I've been trying to do as much grappling for this fight as possible. As long as, I got my boxing coach, Eddie Alvarez, where we hit every day. We either go to the track and do some footwork, head movement drills, and then every night we'll be padding up. So, I have a great group surrounding me, and everyone, truly believes in my ability. And that's always a big thing leading into fights is, the belief of your coaches that are going to build you up as well. And training camp's going phenomenal. I feel great. My weight's coming down great. So I'm extremely excited leading into the fight that, it's one of those things, 5-week notice, you don't want to jam in too much because you don't want to risk injury, but you obviously got to make sure you're prepared and ready physically and mentally. So it's been a fight camp where, I just going about my normal business, pushing myself to my limits. And I think that we're almost, about a week out from being fully prepared.
Okay. So, I think it would be fair to say that more than likely OAM is going to be wanting to grapple.
Yep.
You, on the other hand, in your last fight, you show you are more than willing to stand for an entire fight. Before that, we've obviously seen what you can do in the grappling world.
Yep.
How do you see this actually playing out? Do you think he will have his moments where it actually gets to the ground, or you think it's just going to be a clinic on the feet?
No, I fully expect him to start diving in after he feels my right hand. I hit hard with the right hand, and I know they're gonna come into the fight fully expecting me to throw that right hand hot, and they're gonna be preparing for that. And on his feet, he is a formidable opponent. He's not, a fish in the water like he was when he was on the Ultimate Fighter show. So he's definitely willing to strike with me, and I think that he's gonna be willing to do that, and he's gonna play it out on the feet, but I think his game plan is going to be to try to take the fight to the ground and try to finish there. But, I think that on the feet, I can hurt him. I've seen him land shots on people, and I don't know if he's got the same – doesn't have a puncher's power. He's definitely will throw punches, and he lands shots, and he throws a lot of body and head kicks. So I'm fully prepared for a striking game, but I want to hurt him on the feet and make him take bad shots. The main thing is – for me to stop his grappling, I got to make him take bad shots and to push, get him out of his comfort zone right away on the feet. And I think that easily I could catch him on the feet or on the ground. I think that it's a great fight for, hopefully it's fan friendly, and then we go out there and put on a show. And my game plan is to go forward. I'm going to come after him. I'm going to throw heavy shots, and when he shoots in, I'm going to be sprawling and going for submissions. I'm not going to just sprawl and push away like most of his opponents. I'm going to be trying to submit him right there and end the fight. So I think I think it could be a really quick finish.
Okay, awesome. Now, this will be your third fight of 2017. Will we see Tony Martin back in the octagon before 2018?
I'm hoping that it's a quick fight, and obviously, I'm prepared for 3 rounds. But I'm going to try to go out there and finish right away and hope to get on a card, before the end of the year would be the ideal situation. But if not, I'll probably wait till, February or something like that. It looks like we might be moving down to Florida, and I got a baby on the way. So we're
congratulations.
Hey, thank you. So, I don't want to fight too close to when the baby's coming, I'll be stressing out the wife and everything. And but I would ideally like to fight one more time. Absolutely. I'm looking for, obviously the right fight at the right time is the most important. I don't want to jump into stupid fights. And ideally, I'd like to get, 8-9 week camp. But it was just too good of an opportunity this fight to pass up.
Yeah, and OAM 5-1, as you said, at lightweight, a pretty decent name. Is there anyone in particular, name-wise, that is maybe on the tip of your tongue that you might call out after your next fight?
No one on the tip of the tongue. Honestly, I just want a big fight, and I think that after this, if I put him away on the 16th, I think it really puts me in the top 15 category of, okay, this guy, is the real deal, and he deserves a big fight. I think that not too many people know about me. I'm leading into my 8th UFC fight, and I've showed my growth in the mixed martial arts, and I think I've after this fight that I've earned a right to put my name in the top 15 and have a big fight like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, who are some of your sponsors or people that are helping you out on your journey?
Yeah, mostly, I don't have too many big sponsors, but, I got a lot of people that, I got a really good support base with Brock Larson, obviously, and, Tim Barshard up in New Hampshire has been a big role model in my life and my career goals as well. And, Tyson Chartier, he's a big part of my training camps, and Eddie Alvarez is another, my boxing coach that's always by my side no matter what. It's mostly just building this foundation around me that, has really gotten me to where I'm at. And every day they push me to my limits, and they truly believe in me. And everything that we do is just to build me up, and everyone wants to see me succeed. So it's kind of, my wife obviously is a big part of my career, and she's been, by far my biggest supporter from the beginning. So it's mostly a lot of going on around me, but it's everything's to build me up. So, I got a lot of family and friends support as well. So I'm really happy with where I'm at, but, I feel like I got a lot more to prove and a lot more to show in my career.
Awesome, awesome. It definitely takes a village, as they say. Now, what are your social media outlets? How can people, the one or two people out there who aren't already following you, how can they get a hold of you? How can they see the pictures, videos, training, all this?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter now. So T Martin MMA is my Instagram and Twitter. So mostly, reach out. I always try to reach back to people no matter what. And so, yeah, just give me a holler.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Tony Martin, thank you so much for taking out the time. You are headed to UFC Fight Night 116 in Pittsburgh. Olivier Aubin-Mercier is in your crosshairs. Best of luck to you, sir.
Hey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Stay in touch. So there you have it. The 12-3 Tony Martin headed to UFC Fight Night 116 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to take on Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Go check that out. In the meantime, you can read me over at bloodyelbow.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheEddieMercado. If you like this interview, subscribe to my channel right there. Subscribe to Bloody Elbow's YouTube channel right here. Check out these interviews. Now go be a good person.